Okay, Bruchim Abam, welcome everyone. It's a great honor to be here in the Emek Learning Center. I want to thank Rabbi Myers for inviting me. This is not my first time here. I was there to be here a few years ago. Also, thank you, Rabbi Dorfman. I know Rabbi Myers for many years, since my first visit here. And it's been remarkable to see the contribution that the Emek Learning Center has made, not only for this immediate neighborhood, but really nationally and for Klal Yisrael. So many of the alumni and graduates have gone on to really accomplish great things, to make an impact on Am Yisrael, and all of the contributions of this center, whether it's here as a community kollel or what they do for the Chayalim in the soldiers learning programs, Emek Learn Soldier. So it's really a center of spiritual nuclear energy that reverberates really throughout the Jewish world. And my humble bracha to Rabbi Myers and to the Yeshiva and to Rabbi Dorfman is that Yafutzu Manasecha Chutza, that Hashem should give them siyata d'shmaya, that from this Makom Torah, the light of Torah should shine forth literally to the whole world. You have to, in just a few short moments, if I could share with you an idea that's really based on a simple comment of Rashi in this week's Parsha, but we don't always take notice of. You know, when I was a bachar, I grew up in a planet called New York, Flatbush. And when I came back from studying in Israel, one of the things that I really got from learning in Eretz Yisrael is I had a particular Rabbi who would always emphasize the importance of making connections with Rabbeim and Rabbanim that you could learn from and you could serve as mentors. So when I came back to America, I was thinking, aside from the Rabbeim in my own yeshiva, which Gedolim could I connect with? Many of them did not speak English, but I knew Rav Avigdor Miller spoke English, so I said, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to connect with Rav Avigdor Miller. And I grew up about a 40-minute walk from his house, but I used to walk on Shabbosim from my house in Flatbush. I don't know if you ever heard of Flatbush as a neighborhood in Brooklyn. From Emin 31st to Ocean Parkway, about a 45-minute walk. And for 3 years, I had the great privilege of going to hear Divrei Elokim Chaim from Harav Avigdor Miller. So he used to talk about the way his Rabbeim spoke in Slabodka. And he would say that the Mashgiach in Slabodka was Rabbi Avram Grzinski, and Rabbi Avram Grzinski would give a shmooze in the style of the Alter of Slabodka. The Alter of Slabodka is like the father of all the yeshivas, and his methodology was as follows. This is the methodology of Rabbi Avram Grzinski. He would say 3 words, and he would pause. And then he would say another 3 words, and he would pause again. And there is something very powerful about the pause. You know, we live in a generation, sometimes the most popular speakers, they speak so fast and they say so much and they get out so much content, and in 30 minutes they can really pack in so much information, and you're like, your head is spinning, your head is whizzing, and by the time 30 minutes are over, wow, that was an amazing shit, but what did the person say? I'm not sure. I don't know. I couldn't even process it. There's a certain value in pause. Even public speakers know, in a certain sense, the best way to make an impact on a listener is to give them time to digest what's being said. The power of the pause. Actually, it was just the art set of Rav Moshe Shapiro, and his style of giving shir was very similar. He would pause between points, and he would say, the pause is also part of the shir. The pause is also part of the shir. You know, we live in a generation of AI, artificial intelligence. And I think the Almighty is sending us a very big message with the concept of artificial intelligence. You see, we don't learn Torah just for data. Data is not that meaningful for us, data. Because data is just information you know in your mind, but it doesn't impact your heart. It's all artificial. I would say that one of the lessons of artificial intelligence is we have to ask ourselves, yes, we spend time learning Torah, but is it part of us? Is it coursing through our veins? Is it part of our reality? Or is it just data in the head? And that's the power of the pause. Rashi starts off this week's parsha. Why is this parsha sealed shut? Lama parsha zu nistama. Says Rashi, because from the time that Yaakov Avinu passed away, the eyes and the hearts of the Jewish people were sealed shut. And if they're sealed shut, they can't absorb what's taking place. They can't contemplate. They can't feel it. They can't live with it. And therefore, the bondage of the Jewish people is symbolized by the lack of time to contemplate, by the lack of the pause, where life just becomes one thing after the other, after the other, after the other, where you're going through it, but you're not processing it. So there's an amazing observation of the Sfas Emes, that when Hashem redeems the Jewish people, and He splits the Yam Suf, and we sing Shira, take a look at the Sefer Torah. I remember I once went on a trip. So on the trip, we brought along with us a tiny Sefer Torah, and the Baal Koreh couldn't determine when did Vayechi begin and when did Vayigash end, because it was such a tiny Sefer Torah, and there's no space between the end of Vayigash and the beginning of Vayechi. So the two parashas just, so to speak, linked into each other. They didn't even know where the parasha begins. But when Hashem redeemed the Jewish people and the Yam Suf was split, we have Oz Yashir. Take a look at the Sefer Torah at the Oz Yashir. You have these big openings. There's time to process. There's time to absorb. And I think one of the most important dimensions of being in a kollel and preparing ourselves to share our learning with others is taking the time to make sure that we're really absorbing the Torah we're learning. We're absorbing the lessons, that the Torah is becoming part of our life, that it's coursing through our veins. So when the day comes that we're going to share it with others, we're not just going to say, hey, you take the USB, I'm going to stick it into... No, we're giving over to them. We're not giving over data. We're giving over Divrei Elokim Chayim that has become a reality to us. And this week's parsha, Klal Yisrael is in Golus. They didn't have that opportunity. And in a few weeks, in Beshalach, you see these wide open spaces. And sometimes, especially during these years, we need to create wide open spaces to ask ourselves, okay, I'm learning this Masechta. But is the Masechta going through me? Is it coursing through my veins? Is it changing me? Am I breathing it? Can I give it over to someone else in a meaningful way? And B'siyat Dishmaya, under the renowned leadership, Rabbi Myers, Rabbi Dorfman, you're in a wonderful place, in a renowned place. And Bezos Hashem should help all of you maximize your potential and be able to utilize your learning, Lilmoid, Ulalamed, Lishmar Velasquez. Thank you very much. Was that? Yeah.